right, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the webinar tonight. My name is Mike, and I'm going to be one of your presenters. Folks, if you're here for the first time, prepare yourself. We might just blow your mind a little bit. For those of you that are returning, well, welcome back, guys. We're super excited that you're here. Either way, I guarantee we are going to deliver a ton of value tonight. Tonight's all about you, guys. So what we're going to be talking about is specifically how we can help you. Tonight is all about the online space. And for those of you that have always wondered how all these people seem to be working online suddenly, well, it's probably because we helped them. We've helped thousands of people get into the online space over the years. And tonight, we're going to talk about how we can help you. So if you have always wanted to own your own business, or you've always wanted to work from the comfort of your own home, but you just didn't know where to start, tonight we're going to show you a system that can help you do exactly that. All right? I'm going to go ahead and share my slides here in a sec. That is going to allow us to walk you through this proven system that's been used for years, has helped thousands of people all over the world. So wherever you're watching us from right now, guys, please know this can work for you just as well as it works for anybody in any other country. After we do the slideshow, what we're going to do is we're going to open this up to the panel you see below me here. We've got some folks on here who are already using the system, who've generously given us their time today to come on and talk about their experience so that you can hear firsthand just what's possible using this platform. All right, so get settled in, guys. Grab yourself a glass of water, maybe a pad and a pen. And as they say, let's get this show on the road. All right, guys. So the year is 2021. Could there possibly be a more important conversation to have than how you can run your own business from the comfort and safety of your own home? I don't think so. And I'll be honest, that's exactly why we do these presentations live every week, twice a week. Because in my opinion, the best way to help somebody is to give them the means to help themselves. And there's no better way to do that than giving them the means to create a successful business, folks. Now, for those of you that have always kind of wondered how this works and how the online space is even possible for people, but didn't know where to begin, well, the reason I say that this system is what you're looking for is because it's so comprehensive. You know, what we've done here, folks, is we've created a platform for the everyday person. It's literally been designed by the experts so it can work for anybody. And the beauty of this is that it includes all the sales tools, the systems, the training, the mentorship, and yes, even the right product mix for you to get plugged into so you can start building momentum and start getting some traction in the shortest amount of time. And the beauty of all of this, folks, is that now this doesn't require you to have a business background, and it certainly doesn't require you to have any online experience. So if you don't have either of those things, do not worry. Rest assured, this is absolutely possible for you as much as anybody else. All right, guys? So let's get into this. Before I can do this thing a proper service, I need to bring on my co-presenter. You guys are in for a treat. We've got Dave coming on tonight. I will say, Dave tells the best stories. So you guys are in for a good one tonight. And I tell you, folks, what this man has been able to do with this platform is staggering. So you're getting firsthand account right off the bat. Dave, why don't you introduce yourself and we'll get right into the system.
Thank you so much, Mike. All right, thank you, Mike. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, wherever you're tuning in from the world. Good morning, good evening. Maybe it's good midnight for you. We are a global business. Again, my name is Dave, and I do this business with my wife, Roxanne, as you see on the screen. I'm here in Calgary, Canada. And, you know, every time I do something like this, I love saying this, that there are no accidents. There are only divine appointments, because think about it. You could be somewhere else today. You could be, preparing dinner, maybe watching a movie with your family, or maybe you're preparing lunch for tomorrow, but for some reason, you ended up in this room. I don't think that's an accident. There's an idea here, there's a message here, but more importantly, there's a solution here that's for you. Now, I'm saying that because about 2 years ago, I also ended up in this exact same room. And at that time, we weren't in a good place. In fact, we were in $86,000 in consumer debt. We were, stressed out of our minds. We couldn't sleep at night, how to pay those bills. And I had more gray hair growing than I wanted to. And, at the same time, we were also chasing this dream to help Roxanne's parents retire. Because when I married her over 10 years ago, she said, I want to help them retire. And instantly I said yes. The reason why is because When I was 3 years old, my dad died. When I moved here to Calgary in '96, 3 months later, we found out that my mom had breast cancer. And a year later, she died. So I really didn't have a chance to help them. So I said yes. And you know what? When we started to pursue that dream, we found out that we have a problem. And that problem is that, our income was small and our dream was massive, right? So we actually have two options at that point. One option is that we could take that dream and shrink it to the size of our paycheck, or the other option was to find a solution and increase that income to the size of our dream. And we tried a lot of things. We failed in a lot, and we're so grateful that we didn't quit. Because as I mentioned about 2 years ago, we ended up in this exact same room. And I don't think that's an accident for us either. We were supposed to be there. And, as they say, the rest is history, because as we speak today, we're in a completely different place. We paid off $86,000 in consumer debt in under 16 months. I joined the ranks of what they call a job quitter in March of 2020. I was making close to six figures as general manager. I fired my boss, and one of those guys. Just moved into a brand new home. Again, we couldn't have done it without the help of this online business. But more importantly, we now have a solution, very clear solution, to help Roxanne's parents retire. But you know what? Tonight is not about us. Tonight is about you. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover today how you can start your own online business and grow it quickly. How you can start making money as quickly as possible. And it still blows my mind that virtually anyone, young, old, with experience, no experience, as long as you're willing to plug into a proven system, be coachable, you can literally start making huge commissions and really build a life of your design. Now, I don't know why you're here today. Maybe you're here because you just want to supplement your income, add to your household income. Maybe you want to pay off your debt just like us because you couldn't sleep. You could relate to me. Or maybe you just want to travel without financial worries when this pandemic is done, that when you travel, the bills doesn't come back with you. Or maybe you want to fire your boss just like we did. If any of those is your goal, and I want to tell you, you have come to the right place because I've seen it in our community. Which brings me to my next question. Why are people making a move online? Now, this is not even a question anymore, especially in the pandemic we've seen. If you are a business that cannot deliver your service or product online in the pandemic, either you struggled, your business significantly reduced, or you didn't have a business. Now, if you work for those companies, either your hours got cut or you got laid off. Now, on the flip side, though, if you were able to pivot as a business and you're able to, deliver your service or product online, you were busier than ever. My brother-in-law, her mom works for Indigo. Now, before the pandemic, people can go to the chapters, they could buy books. And when people couldn't go, right, but they could still order their books online, they were busier than ever. That's why I'm so grateful we live in the era we live in today, where there is the internet, because we can earn in such a unique way. Believe it or not, the internet is still so young. I asked our friend Google, I said, okay, Google, how old are you? How old is the internet? And Google says just over 30 years old. So it's still a young lad. That's why I always say that, the action takers of today really is the millionaires of tomorrow. Isn't that right, Mike?
It is. And we see this happen on a constant basis over the years in our community, folks. So many people who decide that enough is enough, the time is right, who step up and claim their destiny. They decide that they want to work for themselves, so they plug into our platform, they start their own business, and what happens? Well, they're able to fire their boss, just like Dave says here. And that is a powerful thing indeed. Now, those of you here tonight, you might be wondering, is this for you? Well, I got to tell you guys, I can't imagine how it couldn't be for you, because we are, after all, in the 21st century. Odds are you've probably all made a purchase in the last few days online. So why in the world shouldn't you be somebody who's also making money online? And then comes this little small detail of a global pandemic, where they are telling us on a daily basis that it's safer to stay in your house than leave your house. Well, how are you going to make money in your house? If you don't have a way to do it, folks, then you need to get online. You must work online. I'll tell you, even before this world kind of went upside down, in all the careers I've ever had, and there's been a few, nothing for me has ever really scratched the surface of working online, because nothing had the potential. of the online world. And what I mean by that is you can engage so many more customers online than you ever possibly could offline. And this whole kind of elusive nest egg that we've all supposed to have had coming into this pandemic to draw from, well, I wonder how many of you actually had that. And I wonder also how many of you are still lucky enough to have one at this point after almost a year of this? Well, actually here in Canada, it is a year. So, you need to have a nest egg, yes, but you also need an income stream that you can count on. And a lot of folks look at us as a plan B option, a supplementary stream of income. That's totally fair. But for those of you that are looking for a plan A, a main primary source of income, I got to tell you, this is a heck of a good option as well. The thing I love about this, though, is the automation component, because the offline world compared to the online world is very different in one important way. In the offline space, they keep telling you that you just got to work hard to get ahead. Well, in the online space, it's the opposite. You got to work smarter to get ahead. And the way you do that is you use technology. You harness automation so that you don't have to be all things to all people and be in all places at all times. You can now use technology to do some of the heavy lifting for you. And we're going to talk a lot about that tonight, folks, and how that not only gives you a bigger budget to work with, but also the time to actually enjoy those finances that you're bringing in from this business.
Before we dive in just a bit deeper here, we want to get real here to all the people that are tuning in, that this is not one of those get-rich-quick things where you just press the button and tomorrow you're going to become rich, right? There is some work involved here, and this is a business, a legitimate business, and but you know what? I've been in this community for over 2 years, but what amazes me though is if you don't put a cap on people, what they can achieve in a short period of time. That's why we always say that our results are not typical either. That we have a proven system to convert, and the variable is you. What you're going to put into this is what you're going to get out, right? So that's why I love this part of our business, Mike.
The secret sauce of any business is always the business owner. The business owner's passion is really the gasoline that fuels the engine. It's what really decides how far you get ahead and how fast you get there. The system that we've got here, though, is designed to really allow you to maximize that potential. But it's up to you, folks. What are your goals for this business? Where do you want it to go? And how soon do you want it to get there? Those are some important questions for you to start thinking about in your head. Because for those of you that are looking to get into the online space, folks, what an amazing opportunity this really, truly is. I think the best part about this is that we start everybody off on a solid foundation. If you think about it, before you can build any success story, you've got to have a solid foundation in place, right? Well, every business basically at its core has the same 3 key pillars that make up that foundation. Basically, as a business, you need to have a product that people want. You need to have a way to introduce it to people, and you've got to figure out who's looking for it in the worst possible way imaginable. Who needs it or wants it the most, basically. And I tell you, folks, if you can accomplish those 3 pillars, you have a solid foundation in place. Now, for those of you that don't have a business background, don't panic if you don't even know where to begin, because the best part of our platform, guys, is that it takes care of these 3 pillars for you. So, Dave, let's walk them through exactly how we help them.
All right, so pillar number 1 is really finding a product they want. Now, this is, I think, by far the easiest pillar, because, the internet, the cool thing about the internet is you can virtually find anything online, even in the midst of the pandemic. People are buying toilet paper, disinfectants, people are doing groceries online. My wife and I, we love to go out to eat on a date at least once a week. In the middle of that pandemic, we couldn't go out to eat, and we use this service called Skip the Dishes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, or maybe you're using more often than you should, like I do. I told my wife, let's support the local business. So we would order it, and they would do it as touchless delivery, right? It's amazing where we live in right now. But the other cool thing about this is that those companies that are actually, delivering their service or product online, they're actually taking, they're incentivizing people now. If you can bring customers to them, either to drive traffic or just simply giving them a customer, they're going to cut you a check, a commission, and it's called, and those companies, that's called an affiliate referral program. Here are some of the companies that you may or may not know that are doing this: eBay, Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, TripAdvisor. If you bring them a customer, drive traffic, they're going to give you a commission, right? Now, there's another group called the affiliate network. Now, if you want to diversify and you want more products to promote, you can go to them. You might have not heard them before. I certainly haven't the first time I saw this. New Cash, Clickbank, Max Bounty, ClickShirt. Really, all they are the middleman. They will manage the relationship for you. Now, the most important part of this page is that if you look closely at the bottom, the sample URL, after the .com, there's a series of letters and numbers. This is actually the unique link of the marketer. If you buy through this link, on the other side, there's actually a marketer that gets paid. Right now, the most important thing is after the equal sign at the end, that's the initials MRD. Now, what we want to do tonight is not only to make this our link, we want to teach you to make this your link so that you can also make the commissions. That's what we're going to do tonight, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm. And, there's one important thing I want to make sure everybody's clear on before we move on, folks. The difference between an affiliate program and an affiliate network. Basically, what an affiliate network does is they manage the relationships that you have with your retailers for you so you don't have to. Now, naturally, they're not going to do that for free. They're going to do that for a cut in your commissions. Imagine that. Every single sale you take, they're taking a bit off the top. So let me ask you, as somebody who's about to become a new business owner, would you like to make sure that you're making the maximum commissions possible on every single sale? Of course you would, right? Who wouldn't? That's exactly why we make sure that we get all of our people plugged in directly with the retailers. But here's the deal. Not all retailers are created equally. In fact, they're absolutely not. Consider for a moment how many retailers we've seen go bankrupt over the last 12 months of COVID, right? Some of these retailers have been around for hundreds of years. We thought they were almost ingrained into society, right? Well, just as not only are not all retailers created equally, so too are not all affiliate programs. Some are very generous. Some are frankly very cheap. So you want to make sure you're plugging into a really good, strong, stable retailer that's truly international that you can count on, but also one that offers a very generous affiliate program to make sure that you're maximizing your earning potential. And that is exactly what we do with our folks. We get you set up with the right program and the right retailers so that you're maximizing your earning potential so that we can actually start looking at how we close the sales, which is a really good segue to pillar number 2.
Yeah, so pillar number 2 is really finding a way to tell people about their product. In this pillar, we're going to talk about sales funnel. Now, when I said sales, you probably thought of those pushy salespeople. Now, the reason why you thought about that is because there's only really 2 ways to tell people about your product. The first way is through prospecting. The other way is through marketing. Now, I know a lot about prospecting because I used to be a sales manager. I've done the business-to-business cold calls. I've done cold callings on the phone. The worst that I've done is we were told to write down your top 10 prospect list, your friends and your family, and that one's the one that I didn't like the most because when you show them the product, they don't like it. It can become awkward. It can sever, your relationships. Now the great thing about what we do here, the most refreshing thing is that we don't do prospecting here. We actually do marketing. In fact, we do a strategy called attraction marketing, which means that all we do is we advertise and attract people to our sales funnel. We put the ball in their court. We give them all the information, and then we get them to make the decision on their time. For me, this is so refreshing, Mike, because we don't have to do any selling, right?
Well, and if you think about it, folks, this is a process that every single one of us and all of you that are watching have all gone through. Think of it. I mean, we can literally make a major purchase from our phone, folks, before we even get out of bed these days. And if you think about how that usually works out, well, you're probably on Google or Yahoo or Bing, or maybe you're on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. All of those things, they're basically set up to be pathways that allow a lead to follow to a business so they can ultimately spend some money. None of these things are designed for you to simply keep in touch with your friends and family. These are big, major businesses. Some of these are the biggest businesses in the world, right? So they are designed specifically for you to be able to find what you're looking for so you can make a purchase. They're designed specifically so that a business can attract the people that need or want whatever it is they're selling the most. And what I love about this process is not only now are you attracting the right leads, but you've got this sales funnel system, which is basically just a fancy way of saying an automated system to engage your leads on your behalf. So you don't have to deal with every single person that comes to your business now. I mean, that would be actually physically impossible when you're working online because there's so many people that are looking at your websites all day long. But over and above that, there's also the small matter of the hand that you got to sleep. You got to go to the bathroom, right? You got to eat. So what happens then? Well, here's the beauty of working online. I told you I'd come back to the word automation, and here it is, guys. When you have an automated sales funnel that engages your leads for you, when they find your business, provides them with all of the information, all the resources they need to make an informed buying decision, guess what? They become a customer. They become a paying customer, actually, and you don't even have to deal with them. That is powerful stuff. I'll tell you guys, when you get a system like this up and running consistently, it's hard not to feel like you're printing your own money.
That's right, Mike. I love that part, kind of like printing money. I want to ask you this question. It sounds like a ridiculous question, but would you trade $5 to one of these $100 bills? Now, if you're watching this and you're paying attention, your answer should be yes, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, a predictable result, $5 to $100. Now, that's kind of a visual representation of a sales funnel, where you do something and there's a result. Let me give you another analogy. If you knew that every time you bought a lottery ticket for $5, it turns into 100, how many times would you do it? Well, again, if you're tuning in 7 days a week, 365 days a year, again, that's a visual representation of a sales funnel. But in our case, we're even talking about a converting sales funnel.
And that is a key word right there, guys. Not only do you need a system, you need a system that works. And the fact of the matter is, there is not a single online business these days that is successful that isn't using a sales funnel of some sort. So for those of you that have never heard about it, let me give you some background on a sales funnel specifically. Naturally, anything in the online space, in order to build it, you got to have some technical knowledge. Most people don't have that. And over and above that, of course, you also need some design skills and marketing skills, because when you're working online, especially in social media world, you got to have those things in place. Well, again, most people don't have that. Or if they do, they don't have that combined with the tech side. And what I encountered early on when we first started helping people was that this is probably the single biggest hurdle for the everyday person getting into the online space. They don't have these skill sets on hand to draw from. So what we wanted to do was to remove this from the equation so that anybody could finally crack into the online world and start making it happen for themselves and their family. And that's exactly what we did. We built the system so you don't have to be a tech guru or a marketing genius, and you can still be successful. And big part of that is because not only do we build the system and manage it for you, but we show you how to make it work for you and your business. You got to understand a key concept if you're going to work online: quality traffic. Dave will talk more about this in a sec, but basically it's like this. You've got to find the people who are just as excited about what you're selling as you are. If you don't, you're not going to get any success. But in order to get those people to become paying customers, you've got to engage them. You've got to engage them and provide them with everything they need to make an informed buying decision. And that's what the sales funnel does. I'll tell you, folks, the fact that we build the system and manage it for you here, this alone saves you thousands of dollars, thousands of hours, and a whole lot of frustration because you don't even have to think about it. You, along with 99.9% of the other people, probably don't even want to think about this stuff. And that's exactly why we have the system in place. So forget about pillar number 2. We got your back. We got it covered. Let's get on to pillar number 3, because that's the fun one.
Yeah, so pillar number 3 is really talking about finding the right people to buy. In this pillar, we're going to talk about traffic. Now, traffic to the online world is really visitors to your website. Now, I want you to imagine a website that doesn't have any visitors. Crickets. What happens to that website? Obviously no customers, no sales, right? Now, that's for online. Offline works the same way, right? I remember during the pandemic here in Calgary, where I am, there's massive malls, Crossfire, and we're still in the pandemic, but the lockdown, people weren't allowed to go to the malls, and those was eerie, massive malls. So imagine if you have a beautiful store inside, good product, right? If there is no people in the mall, there is no foot traffic, there's no opportunity for people to go into your store. So if there's no people in the store, there's no sales and there's no customers. So traffic is so important offline and online in any business. That's why, in this pillar, we're going to talk about traffic, but more important than that, as Mike was saying earlier, we're going to talk about high quality traffic. Right, Mike?
1,000%. And guys, once you found these people who are just as keen on whatever you're selling as you are, and you've got the right offer in place that'll truly help them and the system that will show them the way, well, it's hard not to generate revenue. And the beauty of this whole equation is really the key central core premise of business. Offline or online, it's always the same, guys. If you're going to be successful in business, you got to realize that all you're really going to be doing is helping people. Think about it. We all need or want something, right? What do you need or want right now? If you can find somebody that can provide it to you and you can't do it yourself, odds are if you can afford it, you're probably going to pay them for it, right? I mean, think about it this way, guys. You're all here because you need or at least really want an income stream, preferably one that you can get from the comfort of your own home, right? So naturally, when you found the solution land in your website, in your newsfeed, to click on this website, register to come to a free webinar, you took advantage of the opportunity. Why? Because it was filling your need. Some of you might not even have realized that you were looking for this until it was smack dab in your face. And that's sometimes how this works, folks. But if it resonated with you and it brought you here, rest assured you were looking for the solution. And good news, guys, you found it. This is the beauty of business. It doesn't matter what you're selling. It could be a free webinar. Heck, it could be a cheap commodity item, or heck, even a $100,000 sports car. If somebody honestly, truly believes that they need it, or at least they really want it, and you can provide it, all you got to do is show them how you can get it to them. And that's it, guys. This is the kind of the 3-step equation to success. Hey, Dave?
Yeah, so guys, now you know the system for success, how people are making 6 and 7 figure per year online. Now, I'm saying 6 and 7 figure per year because online there is no cap, which is really amazing because now you can work as hard as you want. You're going to put what you're going to get out of it, but more importantly, you can now match your income to the size of your dreams. Now, here's the thing though, you could do this on your own, but it proposes 2 problems. Problem number 1 is that it's going to take countless of hours for you to learn to get it to work well. That's why people would rather buy a franchise, because it has a proven system. You're going to skip the startup phase where you have to put all the trial and error, right? That's the first problem. It's going to take a lot of time. The second problem is going to cost you some serious cash to get it set up and tested. In fact, here are some of the basic setup tools, just basic. If you start any online business, you're going to need this: ClickFunnels, Infusionsoft, ClickMagick, Easy Webinar, well over $21,000. Assuming you do this on your own. But thankfully, though, you don't need to do this alone. We will save you money, time, and stress by plugging into our online system, proven online system. Now, what we're talking really about here is leverage. Now, I love this word leverage because leverage for me really is the ability to get to your goal faster with less effort. I always share this analogy that Mike is in DC, I'm here in Calgary. There are many ways for me to get to him. First is I could walk, right? Now, I'm not a very good walker, or may not get there. Second, I could ride the bicycle. Again, not a very good leverage. I may not get there either, but I could drive. Now, according to Google, the Google Maps, if I drive from here to Calgary, it's about 13 hours. But I think the ultimate leverage is to jump in the plane. Because if I jump in the plane, 1 hour, I'm in Vancouver, I'm in BC. Right now, the beautiful thing about the plane, if you think about it, you don't have to invent it. You don't have to, build it. You don't even have to know how to drive the plane. You just have to leverage this transportation system. Now, you're here because you have a financial destination. I don't know what that is, but you know what I've seen for the last 2 years with our community? People getting to their financial destination faster. People will take them 25 years to pay off a mortgage. I've seen people pay their mortgage in less than 3 years. That's insane to me, right? People will work all their lives just to be able to retire. But people are firing their boss quicker than ever. Like, it's insane. It took me 16 months to pay off my $86,000 in consumer debt. It would take a long, long time. That's why I'm so excited about this, because this is what I see, what people can leverage here, Mike.
Oh, and the beauty of this really is, guys, you get to leverage a system that's already working for so many people. And by the nature of that, you also get to leverage the experience of those people. Dave, you nailed it. I mean, think of this, guys. We've got a global community of business owners using this platform. Imagine if you could get their attention and ask them a question or two. Simple little things like, what's working in your business? What's not working in your business? I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think about that? How about this? These kinds of questions, these could literally save you thousands of dollars, not to mention making you thousands of dollars. And that is exactly why we've created the platform, the system, with the community. It's absolutely invaluable. And don't forget, you're starting off on the same solid foundation as all of our people before you. We've gone out, we've done the product research. I got to tell you, we have found an amazing product mix that is getting amazing traction for people. Dave's already alluded to the results that we're getting in this community. On top of that, though, we've got this system. A system that you don't even have to worry about, that we built and manage for you. And this is the engine of your business that is just cranking out 24/7. And then, of course, the training. For all of those of you that are scared to death about doing a new venture, know this. You are going to be equipped with the best online training that is absolutely available anywhere in the online space. And I say that with such confidence because we update it on a daily basis. It is that important, guys. You are on top of your game with this stuff because it is always up to date. And I'll tell you, speaking as somebody who's also using this platform, folks, I'll pull out the A word again because I think it is the best part of all of this. The fact that you can harness automation and technology to do some of the work for you, well, it means little things like you can close the lid on your laptop and go pick up the kids from school, or you can close the lid on your laptop and go take the dog to the park. And your business doesn't grind to a halt while you do that. Right now, those of you that have ever owned a business in the offline world, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been there. If you don't answer the phone, it doesn't get answered. If you don't turn on the lights and unlock the door in the morning, it doesn't happen. Everything falls on your shoulders as the business owner. And when you're working online and you got a system that's built for you, managed for you, and you're using automation technology, oh my gosh, what a relief. I mean, finally, it means that you can get back to actually enjoying some of your days. And Dave said earlier on, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. We're not saying we can make you a millionaire overnight, but what we are saying is this is a system that is literally built for you to use to build momentum in your business, and it does a chunk of the work for you. And that right there is important because that means not only can you make money online now, but you can actually get the time to enjoy it. And that, folks, is exactly how we help people the most. So I think the best thing we could do now is turn this all back to you. Those 600 of you who are watching us live, folks, here's the question of the night.
Yeah, this is the three most important words of the night. If you got here, right, are you ready? Are you ready to be coachable? Are you ready to take a leap of faith? Are you ready to do something that you haven't done before so that you could use a powerful system to get to your financial destination faster? If you are, strap on because Mike's going to break it down how it's going to work for you.
Yeah, guys. So here's the deal. When you join our team, number one, you get access to coaching and mentorship. This is especially important for those of you that have never been in business before, much less the online space before. On top of this, you get access to a whole community of mentorship and support. If you're a business owner, there's going to be days when you have self-doubt. It is inevitable. The days that you doubt yourself, we will believe in you for you. The days that you have questions, ask them and you will get answers. I've never been part of a community like this. Tens of thousands of people all over the world that make the point of sharing knowledge and experience. It is powerful stuff. On a weekly basis, we have masterminds, live masterminds, where we get people on who are making 6-7 figures a year. In fact, Dave was just on last night sharing his experience and ideas about how people can ramp up their own businesses and make it explode for them and their families. It is invaluable, guys. You get access to all of that, but then you also get access to step-by-step video training, which is updated on a daily basis. And because it's video-based, you can simply watch it while you're doing the work. And the beauty of all of this, I'll say it again, is how comprehensive this is. This isn't just a training program. It's not just a system. It's not just a bit of mentorship. It's all of that times 10 plus the right products. And that's key to understand, guys, because if you've never been in business before, you might not have heard the word margin. Margin is what makes or breaks a business, because if you don't have margin, you're not making profit. Margin, very simply, is the difference between the price that you bought a product for compared to what you're selling it for. And if you're not making that much margin, well, you better sell a heck of a lot of whatever it is you're selling. And let me give you an example. I mean, you're probably seeing the same cheesy offers pop up in your newsfeed like I am on a daily basis. I think a lot of people are getting really desperate during this pandemic, and they're grasping at straws, right? So, how many times have you had a friend or family member reach out to you trying to sell you spirulina or toothpaste or supplements or some kind of lotion and potion, right? Well, ask yourself this, guys. How much possible margin could be on a product like that? How many tubes of toothpaste would Dave need to sell before Dave could pay off an $87,000 consumer debt? A heck of a lot, I'll tell you, right? A heck of a lot. So that's why it's so important that you're selling the right products, folks. You need margin. You need systems. You need processes in place, or else you're not going to have a business that can scale up and get huge like you're looking for. And the beauty of this is really kind of the personal touch. I love the fact that we still do this, but we get excited because every single person that joins us, we get on the phone with and have a one-on-one conversation. And in a mentorship program, this is critical, because if we're really truly going to help you, we need to understand who you are, what's going on in your life, and what are your goals? When do you want to achieve those goals? So we can really help you come up with a game plan to get you there. And in terms of all of this, the cool thing about this, guys, is, yeah, of course, you're going to be in business for yourself and your family, but you're not going to be by yourself. If you are ever struggling with something, there are thousands of people you can reach out to for help. So all of those thousands of people who have been through the same steps that you have to get set up, well, guess what? If you get stuck at any particular step of it, simply ask and they can help you, right? You're surrounded by an army of solopreneurs here that are doing the same thing you are, that are just helping themselves and their families out. And the training that we provide, all of the webinars, everything gets stored on one central member website. This speaks to those of you that are not in North America, because obviously Dave and I are both in North America. Well, guys, it doesn't matter what country you're in, because our member site is live 24/7 globally. Now, for those of you that have ever worked with technology, that is a big statement to make, because systems always go down. Honestly, I could track the times that ours have over the years on one hand, because it's imperative that they don't. When you've got people who are working in the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, half of Africa, America, Canada, every country in Europe, Greenland, Iceland, you got to be live. You got to be live and up and running, or else those people are going to get upset with you in a mighty big hurry. And we are. And you know what? Every single country, if you need answers, you know where to go. You access the same central member website that we update on a daily basis, so it's easier for you to find stuff, and it's easy for us to update that one central website, right? And I'll tell you, the beauty of all of this is really the content, because what we're going to be teaching you how to do is how to harness social media marketing to really scale your business. For those of you that don't really understand what Facebook is all about, or Instagram or YouTube, guys, let me burst your bubble. It's not about keeping in touch with friends and family. It's really not about watching funny cat videos. I do love a good funny cat video. It's about business. It's about making money. It's about creating that breadcrumb trail so that people can find the right business and ultimately make a purchase. Have you ever noticed you'll be talking to your friend about some kind of cool product, and then mysteriously it appears in your newsfeed the very next day, sometimes heck even within the hour? Folks, that's no accident. There are a heck of a lot of ones and zeros and coding that have gone into making that happen. It is very intentional. All of these platforms, they take every scrap of information they can get on you and they sell it to their advertisers so that the advertisers can get in front of the exact right people. And this is how so many companies have not only survived the pandemic, but have actually thrived during the pandemic. And, before any of you start, glazing over with your eyes at the mere mention of technology, folks, I want you to remember, you're not doing this alone. You've got the training in place. You can go through the training step by step in your own time. But over and above that, you also have access to the support and mentorship of the community. And that's a powerful thing, because that means when you don't understand something, and of course there'll always be that day, then you can ask help. If you're thinking that you have a new idea or new way of doing things, well, instead of throwing everything against the wind and seeing if it sticks, you can actually ask other people to see if they've done it too and what their experience has been. You know, probably the most important part are those days where you'll have self-doubt, and you will, because you're a new business owner. It always happens, guys. It happens to me still, and I've been owning my own businesses for years. You always have self-doubt because we're human, right? You'll always question yourself, but you need to be surrounded by like-minded people who are passionate and driven and who know you and are excited for you and who believe in you. Because sometimes you got to fuel up your batteries, and that's just as important as looking after your own business. So I think probably the best way I could prove my point, also I need a glass of water because I've been talking way too long, is Dave, I'll pull you back on here. You came into this thing with no online experience, but also I know for a fact now you are mentoring hundreds of people all over the world.
Yeah, you know, Mike, mentorship is really close to my heart because I always tell people, right, that success leaves footprints. You know, the quickest way to get to where you want to be is find people that's been there, right? And the cool thing about mentorship also is that, you know, in the beginning, they're kind of like your mentor, your guides and stuff, but then they become your friends. It's so fun to journey somewhere